Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Alexis Edwards and I'm the host of Healing Alchemists. So we're going to wait a couple of minutes to get a couple of people on here, and then we're going to be discussing the life path and what that means and our soul purpose and all that good stuff. Hi Liz, thanks for coming on. How are you? How was your new year? All right. So we're going to just wait a couple of minutes. I know a few people. Hi Lakia, thanks for coming on. Hey Vicky. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's what we did too. We just hung out. So we're just going to wait a couple of minutes to get started. And we're going to do like some chatting first. And then, hey Boo. And then we'll get started with, yeah, so we're going to talk about what our life path is and what the soul purpose and life purpose. And there's a difference between a soul purpose and a life purpose. Hey Kathy. Hi Darlene. Awesome. We're getting quite a few people on here. That's great. All right, so yes, Happy New Year. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Towards the end, Vu, we're going to do the actual meditation, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be repackaging the whole thing and making it so it's a standalone meditation that can be viewed. So if you miss it, you will be able to do it again. Okay. All right. Let's wait a little bit more. All right, you know what? Let's do a couple of cards. I'm going to grab, I have some really nice ones. Let's grab them. I'll be right back. All right, so this is my Messages of Universal Wisdom deck, which I love. It's a single card. All right, let's do one for all of us. For the year, right? Set the tone for our year. Let's see what the cards want to tell. Let's see. Oh, this one. All right. Balance. So this card is a balance in the feminine. So these cards are split up into masculine and feminine cards. The feminine cards are the ones with just, hey Tara, with just the image and a word. Hey Sue. And balance is so perfect. So what this is about is receiving balance. So just instead of having to be more in the masculine and going out and achieving it, balance is something that we can just receive and to feel into. When we feel into balance, that's when we feel a lot better rather than constantly achieving and going out and striving for things. All right. Yes, Happy New Year. Did you have a good New Year? Did you guys just hang out at home? That's what we did. The kids were happy. They got to stay up until midnight, so that was a treat for them. Hey, Mary. All right, so I think that we're good. We have quite a few people on here, and we're going to be chatting for a little while anyway, and then we're going to do our meditation. So, and all of it's good stuff, but that's where the good stuff is. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, and I keep seeing your little bird. Your bird is adorable. Hi, Jean. I think that's how you say it. So, to start, something that I've been meaning to tell you all, something that happens to me often when I'm channeling or talking to you all is that I either sneeze or my nose itches. It's lots of fun. All right. So, welcome and thanks for coming on. I wanted to talk specifically about this, and I felt really guided to offer this today because 2018 is a 11 year. So when you do the numerology of it, it It's technically the second year in a 9-year cycle, but because of the way the numbers add up, you add up to an 11. And when you get an 11, you don't split them up. So normally you would add 2 digits to each other. That's how numerology works. But in this case, an 11 vibration is very strong. It's very strong for change, and it's strong for achieving things, not achieving them in the masculine sense, but being able to bring into fruition what we've been working for. It's a really spiritually aligned number, which is why I chose to do this on January 1st, so 1/1/11 at 11 a.m. So it was very purposeful to do it at this time. And I want to take the power of this to be able to line things up for us. And you're on here probably because, you know, you have interest in being more in alignment with yourself, right? Oh, it's almost 11/11. That's awesome. Thanks. So to start, our soul purpose and our life purpose is a little bit different. So our soul purpose is the big grandness of our being. So with the idea of a soul being that largest part of ourself, the part that doesn't ever die, the part that is always present. Hi, Catherine. So our soul purpose is the overarching theme throughout. So depending, you know, whatever your cosmology is, whether you believe in past lives or you don't, or whether we only live once and then we go to heaven, or whatever your cosmology is, that soul is that largest part, okay? And it's the purest part of us. It's the energy part, the most energy part of us, right? And that soul purpose then plays out in achieving its goal through different life purposes. So in this lifetime, our life purpose, what that means is the overarching theme for this life and this physical body. And if anybody has questions, please ask, okay? And our life purpose is probably what gives us our oomph, right? It's what motivates us throughout our life. It's what it's the overarching theme. That's basically what it is. And it, you know, for some people, they feel really aligned with, they always know what they wanted to do, and they just follow that. And sometimes, you know, it isn't always occupational. It isn't always our career. You know, our life purpose is bigger than that. You know, just because you perhaps haven't had a career or won't have a career or whatever in a field that really lights you up, that isn't just what it's about. And I feel like there's a lot of focus on that. And, you know, our life is so much more than just what our work is. It does feel good to be aligned, and so that the work that we do matches up with what lights us up and with what we want to bring into the world. But it isn't always, you know, for example, somebody who works in a tax collector's office, their life purpose might not be to work in a tax collector's office, but they fulfill it because theirs is of service. It's of connecting to people, and whatever that is, you know, of love, of showing compassion, and they're able to fulfill that and show it by working at the tax collector's office. So it's not always as simple as, you know, what we think it is. It's looking at the individual pieces. So the difference, you know, really between the two, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit, but it's just that life purpose is almost more narrowed in. You know, like if you hit the zoom on your computer, life purpose is a little bit more narrowed in specifically. For example, it could be to raise children, to compassionately show children the world, or whatever it is. It can be anything, you know, and I think a lot of us get really stuck on this idea of what it looks like for other people, and people who innately know what lights them up and innately know the direction that they want to go in. And I think it's because we sometimes overcomplicate it as human beings. We definitely also live in a time right now that is very masculine driven. We have for a long time, and it's switching, and that switching can cause us, it is causing a lot of, I think a little bit uncertainty because we don't know how to behave. And it was interesting that our card that we got for us for the year was balance, because it really is about, we don't want to go from totally masculine driven to totally yin and no movement and just, sitting around. You want that balance. You want to have an even exchange of the yin and yang and the masculine and feminine energy. And that's where, finding our purpose is kind of really like leaning into what makes us happy, like what lights us up, what is fun, yeah, for some people that's their children, for some people it's animals, for some people it's writing, it can be anything, but it's really like, what is that piece that lights you up? So for those of you on, like, how many of you feel like you are connected to your life purpose, where you understand like what your role is in this whole mess, this whole thing, this whole existence, which because I'm curious to see what you all feel. And then our life path is, we'll talk about it in two different ways. So life path, figuratively speaking, is just from the moment we take our first breath up into where we are now and all the way until our final moment, really. And the life path is, we always have free will. We always have the ability to choose anything we want in any moment. But the life path, the idea of it is that it's a sort of, it's a GPS coordinates. It's what your GPS told you, the way that will be the best way to get to your goal, right? And as we know, we don't always have to follow that. And sometimes it's not always the best and easiest way for us, right? And then we go off path. We go the way that feels right for us. We make the choices that feel right for us. And it's still, is going to get us where we're going. But we could have greater ease if we're more aligned with that life path. So when we get to the part where we're actually doing the meditation, what we literally do is we're aligning with who we are, where we are right now, and literally aligning with that path so that we can be on path and have more joy and have more ease. Sometimes, things feel really hard because we're pushing against stuff, and we have free will. We can do whatever we want, but it also feels really good to lean into ease and flow. I find that it brings a lot more joy. So how's everybody doing? Does anybody have any questions? I'm not sure if sometimes this doesn't work totally. I think we're good. Oh, and there, it might be time to almost get started. All right, so if everybody is in a nice, comfortable position, does anybody have any questions about life path, soul purpose? Oh, and one other thing that I will say for sure is I find in working with people, and even within myself, like, a life purpose is usually going to be one of service in some way. I feel like what drives us as human beings is love and service, and that can mean a whole lot of things to everybody. It's different for everyone, but I feel like that's really what it's all about, and we're usually the most fulfilled when in some way we are of service, whether it's to ourselves or our families or to our community or to one other person or to whatever. The being in service is really just to give you guys like a hint to the direction. Sometimes journaling, for those of you perhaps who aren't really sure, journaling the things that light you up, what makes you happy, like reading or going and volunteering or whatever it is, like do that thing, that's what it's about, and it doesn't have to be all mapped out. And I know some people do have it all mapped out. But what it's about is finding what lights you up and follow that. Okay? You're just thinking you'd like to serve more this year. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really what it's all about. And I think that you are so much in service, Tara. And I think that that's a big part of, what you do. And people around us feel that, when we are, to kind of go into like the profession aspect part of it, like our occupation or what we do, like people can feel when we're lit up about something. Like people can feel when we're in alignment with who we are, in alignment with our, life purpose and our soul purpose, and just kind of doing our thing, that lights other people up, to feel like I want more of that. Okay. So definitely journal if you guys aren't really sure of the direction that you're going, or you kind of want more clarity. I know our mind always wants like more concreteness. So journaling can be something that's really helpful, just about what lights me up, like what makes me happy. And if that's eating ice cream, then write eating ice cream. I mean, I want you to write the things that whatever makes you happy, like, walking my dog, or whatever it is, calling a friend, or whatever, all those things. And then see what theme, all of those things that light you up, everything that makes you happy, what that is. All right. So if we're ready, I'm kind of ready to get started. If nobody else has any questions or anything, just want to give you guys a couple of seconds. And I also want to thank you for being here today. And I love hanging out with you guys, and I love doing this. This was something that was really important to me. And I felt really called to do this. On today. This particular technique, this is a shamanic technique that we're going to do. It's a little bit modified because it's going to be in a group setting. Energetically, for those of you who aren't, I think some of you are actually new to me. So I'm Alexis Edwards, like we said in the beginning, but I'm Alexis Edwards, and I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine, and I'm a multidimensional healer and a medical intuitive, and I also, intuitive in general. So part of how I work is I can sort of notice when I tune in to somebody how they're doing and what's coming up for them. Okay, so when I work one-on-one with somebody, that's a really important skill, because I'm helping you kind of go along with what we're trying to achieve. In this case, it's important too, so I'll probably get a broad sense of where everybody is at, but if anyone in particular has any questions at the end, let me know. And my energy, I'll be doing energy work to help you and align you with that. So what we're going to start, once we start, we'll kind of take a couple deep breaths and relax and kind of actually visualize a path. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask to have 1 or 2 moments when we got off path come up. So a memory or an emotion or a color or something is going to pop up. It's different for everyone. It's based on where you are and what you're able to process. And so for those of you who are kind of in a place where, is it my imagination? Sure. In a way it is. And for those of you perhaps who are used to these sorts of things and can kind of feel the power in them, it is also really real. And really significant to do spiritual work. So I'm assuming everybody knows what shamanic work is, and I don't actually know that, so I will answer what that is. So I don't call myself a shaman only because who I was trained by doesn't, and so I don't. But a shaman is a spiritual worker. A shaman is a person who is called by spirit to interact energetically and spiritually, and interfaces with different dimensions and interfaces with spirits and beings and energies in order to help people be well and be more in alignment with themselves, and to improve their health in a body, mind, spirit component. And this is one of the techniques. There's lots of different ways to come back to center. The idea is that we are always whole. We just forget, either due to trauma, etc. We kind of forget And so what these techniques are about, and I say technique for lack of a better word, but what, these rituals and what these healings are about is allowing the self and the soul to be more aware that it's whole again, right? And so that's what the life path alignment is. It literally allows an alignment to occur energetically. And some of you will notice it and sense it, and some of you may not. Okay. So, will I be doing a class on following your path? You know what? I could. Yeah, I could. I think that's something that would be fun. I am actually going to be doing a class. It starts January 15th on, it's called the Spiritual Awakening Toolkit. So it's a very basics. It's 5 weeks, jam-packed with awesome information, talking about meditation and chakras and what else? Everything, crystals and all sorts of fun stuff. In the group, there's a link to all the different things that we're going to be doing in there. I'm going to have guest speakers. It's going to be a lot of information, and that this course was born out of me noticing a lot of people posting in groups or talking about, hey, I really want to connect with myself. I want to connect with the spiritual aspect of myself and bring more spirituality in my life. How do I do that? What do I start? Where do I go? So this is like a really beautiful and basic course that's going to have a lot of information. We'll talk about manifestation and all sorts of things, okay? And that the early bird is through today, through midnight today. So if you're interested, the link is in the group. Message me if you have any questions. The course is really amazing. If you do register by today, you save $100, which is always fun, right? Okay. Thank you for asking that. And I think I'm going to pursue looking at doing an actual workshop, like a more in-depth, maybe a 2-week thing on following your path. I think that would be really neat and might be something that's needed. All right. So if we're ready, we're going to get into a nice comfortable position. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths. Okay. And when we're ready, we're going to ask for our path, our life path to come before us. And we like to see it from the moment we were born forward in this lifetime. Some of you may very clearly see a path in front of you, and some of you might just either get a sense of it or not notice anything at all. And for those of you, just think, what if I could see my life path? See if that shifts anything for you. The path could look like just about anything. Some of them are paved, some of them are dirt, some are in mountains and meadows and cities. It's different for every person. So start to get a feel for that path and take a peek of what it looks like going forward. And from this point where we're at the very beginning, when we first took our breath, we can see the totality of all the choices that we've made. And they're all perfect and right. But this allows us to see. And you may notice the environment around you. You might start to notice more sounds or sights. Your focus may go to more than just the path, but all around you. And once you're ready, we're going to ask that the first time that we hit a bump or went off path to come up for us. And this may come up clearly for you as an image or a thought or an idea or a specific event. And once you have that, you can ask, what did I learn from this? Why was this important in my growth? And however you're experiencing this is absolutely perfect. Some may have a lot of clarity, and some of you may just get a feeling or a sensation. For anybody having difficulty, simply ask, what if I could feel this? What if I could know? And see if that shifts anything for you. And once we've seen an event or get a sense of it, and we know why it occurred and why we made that choice and what it helped us learn, we can ask if that event needs to be healed. We can bring beautiful golden light to that space in our path and allow for it gently to move back to center. And once you do that, focus back on your path and see if anything's changed. Did healing that piece alter anything going forward? You offer golden light to your path forward. Once we're ready, we can go ahead and ask if there's a second time that was significant that we went off path or made different choices than we originally intended to. And again, you may notice a specific event come up for you, or an emotion or a feeling. Whatever you feel or experience is absolutely perfect. Once you get a sense of what occurred, you can ask what you learned from it. And then you can ask if there's any healing that's needed. And if there is, you can imagine golden light all over that event and that time period in your life. And allow for that to gently move back to center. Imagine golden light from that point forward in your path. And when you're ready, you can see if you notice if there's any changes that occurred in making this adjustment. And once you're ready, you can take a nice deep breath. For some of you, this may have been a lot. Give yourself grace in whatever you're experiencing. And now as you stand before your path where you are right now, looking forward at the choices you have before you, you can ask if there's anything that you need to know right now. Any guidance that you have for yourself. Because you as your soul chose this before you, and you can ask for guidance. So once we're ready, we can imagine golden light coming from the top of our head, down through our body, down to our feet, and going out in front of us along that path all the way forward. It was beautiful work. So once you're ready, you can start to bring awareness back to your body. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe start to stretch a little bit. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I'm going to take another deep breath. All right, that was so beautiful. It seemed like most of you did quite well. Thank you all for being here with me. That was very beautiful. So for the rest of today, you might want to take the time now to do that journaling that we talked about. And, oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You're welcome. Thank you for being here with me. So you'll take your time and maybe do some journaling. Definitely have some water. Doing spiritual work requires lubrication. It requires water in our body and being nourished with water. And for any of you that need to hear this, I will say it. When we are awakening more spiritually, we need more water. It's really important. It's something that I have had to incorporate into my life. And the more work that I do, I definitely need to be well hydrated. For a lot of different reasons. It allows for, water holds vibration and it holds consciousness as well. So that's a big part of why we're so much water. Yeah, just be gentle with yourselves, be kind, and you're doing fantastic wherever you are in life. You're doing fantastic, and I wish you all a wonderful new year going forward. Yeah, be kind to yourselves. All right, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Either message me or you can post it in our group. Again, I am hosting a 5-week Spiritual Awakening Toolkit course that's coming up January 15th. And we have the early bird until this evening. Oh, you're so welcome, Liz. Thank you. And thank you all for being on here with me. That was so beautiful. You did a great job, guys. All right. And thank you for being part of my path. All right. Yes. All right. Thank you. Much love to everybody. I'll see you later. Bye.